Good morning, everybody. Today is Friday. It's a gloomy Friday today. It's really cloudy outside, but it's another beautiful day that we get to be alive. We get to be energized and excited. Today's morning motivation is all about being an example. And now, this is something that motivates me all the time. Setting the example for people in your culture, your race, your gender, your religion, whatever it is. I've always, not always, but for at least the last maybe 5-6 years, especially when I used to be a teacher, the biggest thing that would be in my heart was, how can I set the example for people or kids and students who grew up the same way I did, right? Like a lower income home, single parent home, from an urban context, a statistic, right? Like so many people that I know and I grew up with are either dead or in jail. I mean, something, right? Not all, but most. And especially the people who I used to hang out with almost every single day as a kid. And I think to myself, how do you break the tradition of being a drug dealer, being a gangster, being a hustler, right? Like there's so much that goes on in the urban context that is this reoccurring theme in the life of a child or of the daughter or whoever. And the theme is, like, you just grow up and you stay in your same context. You don't do anything. You don't achieve your goals. Your dreams never become reality. And I remember when I was a teacher, I would always do detention. And a lot of my students would ask me, like, hey, sir, well, what do you do for fun? Like, what do you do on the weekends? And one thing I kept telling them was, like, I work. And they're like, what do you mean you work? And, I never graduated college. I did graduate seminary. But I told them I never took school serious. I never gave a shit about grades. I never took myself serious, never invested in me. And what that led to was me having to work about 2, 3, 4 jobs at a time so that I could make ends meet. And I never really got to enjoy life. I never really got to enjoy friends. I never really got to enjoy relationships because I was always working. I had to work 5 times harder than the next person because I didn't get an education. And, it hurt because, seeing the realization in the kids' eyes of, like, man, like, he's not even enjoying his life. All he does is work all the time. Like, that sucks. Made me realize that there was more to life than just work, and there's more to life than just making ends meet. And so I easily thought to myself, rather than telling these kids, I didn't make my dreams happen, go ahead and make yours happen, learn from my mistakes so that you don't end up here, I realized, fuck that. I'm gonna make my dreams happen. I'm gonna make my desires, my wants come to reality. The first thing was moving to Austin, right? Like, I don't want to live in Brownsville anymore. I want to live in Austin, and I'm gonna make it happen. And I did, right? Like, I packed up my bags. Within 2 months, I was out and in Austin, and haven't looked back ever since. And it's great when I go back to visit people and they're like, man, like, I can't believe you're living there. You're still there. Like, you have a life there. And I'm like, yeah, dude. And not that I don't love Brownsville, because I do, but my dream was to live in Austin, and I'm doing it, right? My dream was to become a roaster, and I'm doing it, right? Like, my dream was to find a wife, and I'm engaged, right? Like, my dream was to be physically fit, and I am. Like, everything that I've been wanting and desiring, I'm not waiting for somebody to make it happen. I'm making it happen on my own. But at the same time, I'm also doing it because I want to set the example for everybody out there who may be in the same mindset that I was, or maybe in the same, like, little shell that I was, of, like, just working to pay bills and working to, make ends meet. And it's a circle that kills you, and it doesn't make you happy. And so I want to be an example for people who say, well, I want to move out of my small town into a bigger town, but I'm afraid. I was afraid too, and I did it, man, and I'm so happy that I did. I'm not even looking back, right? Or like, I want to make this happen, or I want to make that happen, or I wish I can do this, but I'm scared, or I'm afraid that I can't, or whatever reason. And I want to be the example of like, look, I'm a short, tatted up Mexican that didn't graduate from college, and for the most part shouldn't be alive, and I am, and I'm succeeding, I'm striving, I'm thriving, I'm becoming something that I never thought I could be, because what I did was, one, I invested in myself, but two, I saw other people and the pity in their eyes when I told them about my life of never being able to go out, never having fun, always working, and the pity that I got from people, it kind of angered me. And I was like, man, is it really that bad? Like, is it really that bad to work all the time? And now that I actually get days off, now that I only work, a few hours a day, not having to work 18, 24 hours a day, like literally working all day, now I think to myself, man, I never got to live life. I just survived. I never lived. And now that I'm living, I want to be an example, and I want to be a motivation for other people who are in the same trap that I was in, to say, no, like, I don't have to be in this struggle, because there's always success. I just got to believe that it's there, and I got to make it happen. And so today's motivation is be an example for someone else, right? Like, we all have friends who struggle. We all have friends who are in this trap, or we all have friends who are negative or Debbie Downers, whatever. And I want to be an example for everybody who is in one of those categories, and to show them you don't have to stay there. You don't have to be there. You can be where you want to be. All you have to do is believe that you can. And so that's my motivation for today. Make this your motivation for today if you don't have one. Be an example for somebody today. Encounter somebody today and try to impact their lives through your life story. Be an example, share your story, and make change happen. It's not that hard. And if you put your mind to it, and you put your heart to it, and you start investing in people, trust me, you will succeed, man. All right, got to get to work. Gonna go do some shooting. Today seems like it's gonna be a fun day, an exciting day, so I'll probably let out a vlog later on in the afternoon to show you guys what was going down today. So peace out, have a great morning. Let's go win the fucking day. Peace. Woo.